Good evening and welcome to another episode of Confidence Culture Conversations. And today we are on episode 104. Coach Kirubai, how are you doing?
Well, I'm doing well, but firstly, I would like to apologize for the glitches that we've had on StreamYard. And yes, I'm so happy to be here, but we are 15 minutes late, but better late than never. I'm well, Elizabeth. I'm well. I had one of a lovely birthdays he- last week. Lovely birthdays is my birthday. For those who want to know, it's on the 5th of November and I celebrated it. I had a little bit of a disappointment not being able to do my sushi I couldn't go for classes, but Robert and I had a good time. We drove away to a little village and explored the village, and I love all this oldie things. So it was lovely. So we had a day out and we came back home safe and sound. Thank God for that.
That is good to hear. That's good to hear. No, that's amazing. And yes, happy birthday for last week. Happy birthday for last week.
And Elizabeth, what did you do over the weekend? You had an exciting weekend too.
Let's just say I went on an adventure that took me outside of the UK for the day. Um, I jumped on a train and went up to Nice in France. Spent the day there, but also took some time out to go to Monaco and just see some sights, which was really amazing. And of course, I got to do it with the best sister ever, which was really, really good. So I'm grateful to God for opportunities like that. And thankful for fathers who also stand in the gap while the mothers go away and have fun. So Tunji had the pleasure of looking after Janaya and Shalom for the day while the women went gallivanting and having an adventure. But it was really good.
So you must have had a handful, huh?
He did. But he made it through. We came back and they were all safe and sound. So that's good.
Yeah, Tunji is so great with the kids, and we thank God for that.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So last week we detoured on our conversation. But today we are back again on the topic of success and just looking at like how successful people think and talk and like how do you identify these successful people? Are there habits for successful people? So let's get into it. Kirubai, do you want to sort of bring us into this conversation?
Yeah. So everybody loves success. Sure, those who are listening there, everybody loves success. And what does success mean to each one of us? It varies. And success is is all about your perception or what success means for you. But today we are specifically going to speak about how a successful person speaks and thinks.
Mm-hmm.
And and speaking is so important because what comes out of the mouth is, if it's positive confession, it's great. But when we speak negatively over ourselves, over our situations, over our business, over our success, it definitely has a negative impact. And it same goes with what you think, because mindset is so important to drive your success.
That's it.
And driving success, we're talking about uh, leading confidently into your success.
Mm.
And success is completing a task. Success is winning a game. Success is making your business work. Success is impartation. Imparting into someone's life is also considered success. So it can be many. It can vary from degree to degree, from situation to situation, but everything boils down foundationally how you speak and how you think
Mm.
connected.
That's it. And absolutely how we think and how we speak can have a greater impact on us than we sometimes acknowledge or even imagine. You know,
Mhm.
little things like I'm not good enough or I'm stupid, oh, I always get things wrong, like just the negative talk. It's sad because the reality in life is that sometimes it's a lot easier for us to speak negatively over ourselves, and it's a lot harder to encourage ourselves or to speak positive words over ourselves. I was in the school today and we had like these affirmations that we asked the young people to say, and they just kind of said it with no energy, and we're like, come on, give it some oomph, like make me believe what you are saying, and as we got them to think about what they were saying, we asked, like, how many of you have like spoken negatively to yourself today? And a lot of them put up their hands. And then asking them, like, when was the last time you spoke positive words over yourself? Like, they couldn't remember. So sometimes we're very quick to speak negatively, but that's not going to get us on this path to success. So what we say is very important because, like the Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if you want to be successful, and it also says life and death is in the power of the tongue. So if you want to be successful, how you use your tongue matters. So the things that you are saying matter.
Yes. And because, Elizabeth, I do this part of my body, mind, and spirit, the alignment. When it
Mm.
comes to the spirit, a lot of people have spoken negatively over their lives.
Wow.
And it has unconsciously, consciously has had a negative effect.
Hmm.
So, anyone out there who's listening to this, inherently, if you have spoken negatively to your success or
Mm.
for your future success, for the things that are going to come in your way, thinking things, just simple things like, I don't think I can achieve it. It plays in your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
So if you have children, if you have brothers and sisters, young people in your family, and if they grow up with criticisms, they end up being critical of others.
Mm.
Because we also spoke about the environment, how it affects our success.
Yes.
So part of it is what we speak and how it works subconsciously in our minds.
Mm.
And what parents tell us, we are also subconsciously receiving negative energy, negative aura in our minds. We cannot run away from this negativity. And that's why it is so important to guard our hearts from all this negativity,
Yep.
speech and thought,
Mm.
speech and thought, speech and thought. So, success, let's go dig deeper into the word success. Success for Elizabeth could be totally different from what I for me.
Mm.
For me, for me is let's dig deep into the fact that it is varies. It is a fundamental platform where we say it varies from person to person. Success, okay. For me, is success is having a nice holiday, putting my feet up.
Mm.
I will always say this to someone. Someone recently asked me, you slog and over a business and trying to help the world. But for me, helping the world is success.
Yeah.
Helping someone, sharing my knowledge, sharing my time, building them up in an environment, being a good coach is success for me. It might
Mm,
not equate to money, but pouring into someone's life is success.
okay. That's good. That's good. One of my colleagues who was out with me today sort of described success as having peace of mind.
Yes.
But I like the fact that you have emphasized that it is different because well and truly, and I think we mentioned this in the last video that we did around success or the last conversation we had, I have a different purpose from the person next to me. I have a different purpose from you. My assignment is different. So my success or what success looks like for me has to be different. So and that's something that yes, we need to accept, but just going back to the idea of how we think and how we talk, our thoughts are very powerful. Our thoughts can determine who we become. And so, if we want to be successful, but our thoughts are stuck in a victim mentality or stuck in kind of what other people have been saying about us, whether it's positive or negative, then we are going to gradually become those things we are thinking. That's the reality of it. That's how deep this thing is. You cannot be thinking failure and seeing a result of success. It doesn't work that way because what you were thinking is what you are becoming. It's the thing that's ruminating in your mind, it's the thing that you are magnifying in your mind. So, the other thing we need to consider is also that I think when it comes to successful people don't see problems as obstacles, they see problems as opportunities. Is there a window of opportunity for me to push past this, to break through here, rather than I have failed, there's no other way, it's a dead end? Like, can you see light at the end of the tunnel? And I think for successful people, like they have hope. They're looking for what's the way out? How can I push past this obstacle?
Coming to think of it, I know you're talking about speech. Today we're talking about what we speak and how we think. I recently encountered an incident. It was a potential client,
Mm,
and I was trying to do a makeover for her, full makeover. She's of 50 years old, and she went through a failing marriage. She wanted to get married, but she was when you see her, it's really like she's going through a time of, putting on a sackcloth,
mm,
and it's very sad. And she is a believer, and everything about her, the colors she wore, or the way she used her clothes, everything about her was so negative, and yet she wanted to enter into a relationship and a marriage. Why I'm
mm,
sharing this is, even though you can be a believer, you are, church going or praying or reading the word, because the word very clearly says, be transformed in your mind. And on the day she was supposed to come and start the consultation with me, she calls me up and starts weeping
mm.
because she wants it, but in her mind there is a block.
Yeah.
So she wants the transformation, but yet she couldn't do it. She was
Mm.
weeping and weeping and weeping.
Because
So I just invited her to have a cup of tea with me and started talking to her.
yeah,
Started talking. I said, let's put the consultation aside. And then I was just talking to her. And then it kind of something that is so easily we get into, but yet people are struggling out there.
yeah.
So for her at the moment is success is finding someone in her relationship and working on that relationship. But her
Mm.
mindset didn't allow her. So how many of us here are stuck like that? We
You
want
want to
to do
move.
something,
Mm.
sorry, we want to do something and yet we can't take that first step of working on our mindset. Simple. This gray matter between 2 years, it can cause a lot of trouble if we are not on the right track.
Yeah.
And I witnessed it true and true. I was a woman who knew the word, a woman who is so active in church, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? Personal change, the transformational change for herself, she couldn't have it because she
Mm.
was struggling in her mind.
Mm.
And it's sad.
I was speaking to a young person today, and we talked about sort of what holds her back, or what's holding you back. And we talked about like things that have happened in the past. And I remember saying to her, like, the past can shape who we are, but it doesn't have to be the label that we carry. And it doesn't have to be the thing that limits us. So people might have said things to you in the past, or maybe you've experienced certain things in the past. And those things that you've been through have shaped your thinking.
Mhm.
Now, that doesn't mean that you should remain in that place. You need to move past that thinking. In coaching, we talk about limiting beliefs. And these limiting beliefs become ingrained in your subconscious to the point that you're not even thinking about it, but it's there. It's the invisible prison you have locked yourself up in.
I like that. Mm.
And if you want to be successful, you have to break free from the invisible prison that you have locked yourself up in. The thoughts, they're powerful.
Wow. I like that, Elizabeth, the prison that we invisibly put ourselves into. Knowing that is the right move to do, and yet putting that prison over us, putting those bars, blocking our success, our move, our progress. Because progress is equals to success.
Mm,
And as I was pondering upon this even last week, I was just thinking about how successful people, like what you mentioned, turn a, a issue or a problem to having a successful outcome. That is so important, turning any problem, we encounter a problem, we will say, oh my God, why is this problem here? Finding a solution is also success.
mm,
Having a long term vision, breaking it bit by bit by bit by bit is also success.
mm,
And growth is bit by bit. If you are stuck in being a perfect human being, some people are perfectionists and then they don't take their steps of faith and say, I would like to try something in business. You might want to start a cake business from home. And if you don't take the first step of making the cake and maybe giving it to to a cafe to try or something, but taking that step and think, oh, it's not perfect yet, it's not perfect yet, it's not perfect yet, you're never going to find the success in being a good baker.
Mm.
So perfectionism is a big killer for success. And a lot of us are stuck with that. Oh,
It
I got to
needs to
get it
be.
right. But when if you had taken the cake to a cafe and said, would you like to try this? You would get good feedback. When you get good feedback, you are considered, oh, I am a success in getting good feedback. When you bite it, when you break it down, every small day, even cooking a meal is success. Getting your chores all sorted is success. So it's no biggie. It's how you break down into bite sizes.
Mm. You're right, Kirubai, because just even making it through the day, right? Making it through the day,
Yeah.
and making some progress in your day is a level of success. You know, I was just thinking how sometimes we can get stuck, yes, with our thinking. We can get stuck with the words that are coming out of our mouths, not realizing that yes, our thoughts are also affecting, because you know from a faith perspective, the Bible says out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaks.
Speaks, yeah.
So your speaking is based on what's inside. It's based on what's
Mhm.
going on inside you. And I think one of the other things that successful people have vision. They're seeing something. There's a way that they perceive something, and they see beyond the now.
Mhm.
They see beyond where things are. And you mentioned about, like, they find solution, and I'm going to add to it that they don't just find solution, they are the solution.
Yeah, true.
Because you realize that actually I have the capacity to bring solution to this problem. They're looking at how they can be a solution in a scenario, in a given scenario, whether it's in the house, in your personal life, in business, in your community. Like, being able to not just be someone who points out problems, but someone who also brings solution to the problems. Successful people see things differently. They see potential. And when I'm talking about seeing, I'm also talking about seeing with your thinking, seeing with your thoughts, right? So, not just seeing with your physical eyes, but like with your thinking. Because let me give you like an example of a child, right? And I think I mentioned this some months ago when I was speaking to teachers in a teachers conference. And I say to them, I said, look, how you see these children is going to determine the value you are bringing. It's going to determine how you deliver the education to them. If you see these children as potential, as leaders of the next generation, if you see these children as the next prime minister, the next members of parliament, the next councillors, like, if you see value in them, you are going to automatically change the way that you deliver. You are going to change the way you were serving them. So that's why I'm saying successful people, there's a way they're seeing potential in something. You might just see this as a fun. A successful person might see it as a tool for business. So They see things differently. They see things from a different perspective because they're seeing solution to problems. But they also realize that they are a solution to a problem. And that realization comes in their thinking, but it also comes in the way they are speaking. And how we show up, how we present ourselves also reflects that.
Let me plug in your body language. It's very important because your language can speak a different language and you are speaking. There's no connection between your mouth and your body language.
Mm,
There's no cohesiveness. And it's very sad because people, as human beings, we can pick up. You can have a fake smile and yet you don't feel smiley inside. So walk the talk.
mm,
Walk. If you want to be successful, you need to walk the talk. I know people say, fake it till you make it. That doesn't, lot of people talk about it. But you know what? We can always pray ourselves into the things that we want to be successful. Because I'm a classic case of that.
mm,
When I moved here, and sometimes I still struggle. I recently I wrote an article. Speaking is not my forte because I think Elizabeth, you saw that, right?
mm-hmm,
Yeah, because we come from a nation where we speak many different languages, so we think differently, we construct our sentence differently, and we speak differently. Maybe I think in my Tamil mother tongue, and then I want to speak in English, and yet there is a little bit of addition to my Bahasa Malaysia. So it's a little bit of a mishmash. But you know what? I said if I'm going to sit and keep my my gap shut, I'm never going to be able to speak.
mm,
And this confidence culture conversations, this podcast that we have been doing, has really built my confidence in speaking. Because my train of thought, sometimes I can think, wow, what happened to my train of thoughts? But you know what? I'm pursuing it. I'm not going to let it down. I'm not going to let myself down and say I'm not going to speak anymore.
mm,
So there are things that we can master if we think successfully and speak successfully. And I'm a living testimony of that. You can go back to episode 1 and check the episode 104. I have grown in my confidence in speaking.
mm. Another thing I would say about successful people, they don't just think it, they take action. So, yes, it starts with the thinking.
Mm,
You think, I can do it, but you don't stop there, you take action. So, the thoughts and the speech provokes them to take action because your thinking is going to produce results. And your results will be proof of whether you're successful or not successful.
mhm.
So the way that you are thinking is impacting the results you're currently getting. So look at different areas in your life where you might think, oh, maybe I'm not sure if I'm successful here. Look at those areas and just think and just examine your thoughts. Examine how you are speaking about yourself concerning those matters. I remember one time somebody saying something about, like, all men are this, all men are that, and it was negative statements. And I said, if that's your talk and if that's what you're thinking, then how are you going to have a successful marriage? If you're already going into the marriage thinking all men are this, all men are that, and actually saying it. It changes even how you present yourself in the marriage or in the relationship. It changes how you behave because you already have this thought at the back of your mind: all men are this. So you always expect that this will disappoint. If that's the attitude, if that's the mindset, if that's the thinking, then you're not going to get the best. And there's some thoughts that honestly we have no business having those thoughts. Like we those thoughts just need to go straight into the bin. You need to let go of those thoughts before you start speaking them out. I remember a few years ago, just in a workplace environment, I was doing some audits, and I went round to ask people questions, and as I was speaking to this lady, she starts she was getting really like anxious and worked up about the questions I was asking. I was asking about her job and what she does, but sort of just checking to make sure she's doing the right things. And she just, it was like her mind went blank and she started saying, "Oh, I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid." And I was like, wait, I had my what is it? The clip folder, right? I had that. I put it to one side. I said, let's put work to one side. Let me speak to you as a woman. And I say to her, don't say you're stupid because you're not stupid. I had to get her to reframe her thoughts about herself. I had to get her to change what she was speaking over herself. And as she changed that, she was in a more calmer space. She was able to think clearly. She was able to answer the questions. So, even just in that moment, the success of that moment was being hindered because of the negative thinking. And she had to quickly take some action to change the way she was thinking. So, if there's areas that you think very negatively over yourself, or even you speak negatively over yourself, it's time to stop. If you want to be successful, then it's time to stop saying those things that are negative, because your words are framing your world.
And age is no barrier. So try everything that you want to try in terms of of enjoying and being successful even in your daily life. And also, uh, you know, I was just sharing about traveling. Go travel.
Mm,
Enjoy the labor of your hands. Don't just sit at home and and moan and groan and be content and move on. Move on with life, and one day you will sit back and think, "Wow, I should have done this lot earlier in my
mm,
life."
mm.
But it's never too late to start now.
That's it.
Yeah, you know, I'm a real testament about lots of things that I've tried in my later years, and I'm enjoying it.
Mm,
I'm enjoying it.
that's good.
Social media, I'm enjoying it. And trying to use cut caps. Is it cut caps?
Cap cut. Cap cut.
Yeah. All these apps, it's quite funny, but you know what? I'm just having a go at it. And every time I get a new video done, it's success for me. So, ladies or gents who are out there and you feel that you're left behind, it's never too late to start
Mm.
mastering a game, mastering chess, or, I bought myself a book. I bought Janaya a coloring book, and I bought myself a coloring book because I find that very therapeutic.
It is.
Yeah. So I'm when I sit down somewhere, I'm just coloring. I've always loved coloring. So age is not going to stop me because once I get the beautiful picture, I can take it and I can frame it or send it to someone, bless them with all the beautiful colors. So, Elizabeth, so I'm a late bloomer, as I always say, but I'm successfully driving myself to achieve what is meant for me.
Mm. And that's good. That's the thing with success. You're not seeing the limitations. You're not saying age is my limitation. You're going
Mm-hmm.
for it anyway. Because, like we said earlier on, success doesn't see the limitations. Success pushes past the limitations. Like a
Mm-hmm.
successful person, yes, you might see the limitations, but you don't let the limitations limit you. So you don't let the limitations stop you. So it's a case of, yes, I might not be able to do it right now, but give me a moment. I'm going to get it. I'm going to figure it out. And I might not be there yet, but I will get there. So successful people don't see them, the successful people don't have a fixed mindset. They have a growth mindset. They have a mindset that says, I am not there yet, but I will get there. I might not know it today, but give me a few days. I'll go and do my research and I'll come back and I'll have an answer for you. I'll figure it out. Successful people say, it might be raining today, but nevertheless, I'm going to go out and make the most of today. They're not seeing the rain as an obstacle. They're seeing the opportunity that the day is presenting. Successful people, they don't wake up in the morning saying, oh, today's going to be a bad day. No. They don't wake up in the morning saying, I got up on the wrong side of bed, so nothing's going to work out today. That's not a successful person talking. You have to speak when you are someone who is successful or working towards success. You have to speak words that build, words that inspire, words that challenge, words that bring out the potential, words that draw out the best, not words that are going to limit and shut somebody down. That's not success. A successful mentoring relationship is not one where someone is always pointing out your failures and never giving you any guidance of how to move forward or never encouraging you. There has to be a level of encouragement in there. Your words and your thinking could be the very thing that is
Stopping
robbing
you.
you of success.
Mm. So after today, I think we're going to hear many testimonies of people saying, I have tried something that I have never tried before. Probably bungee jumping,
Are you going
jumping out of a
bungee jumping,
plane.
Kirubai?
Huh?
Are you going bungee jumping?
No, I actually like to jump off a plane. Robert refused to allow me. So I'm working on it. Working on it. I'm working on it. And I will do it one day.
Mm, mm,
So that would be my 15 minutes of fame.
And that's the
Yeah.
thing with successful people. It's not saying I can't. It's
Okay.
giving yourself room to grow and saying I will do it. I can do it. Don't close the door. And even if the door looks like it's closed, I can find a way. I will find a way. Maybe it's just an opportunity for you to go and knock on another door. Success sees differently, thinks differently, speaks differently.
So there is hope for all of us.
There is definitely, there is. And we have to, if we want to be successful, we have to see hope.
Yeah.
We have to see hope. We have to realize that there is room for us to get better. There is room
Yeah.
for us to improve.
To visualize hope is very important. Visualize peace is very important. To visualize um, our well-being so important. And that is all success in a nutshell.
Mm.
Well, it's getting to be 8 o'clock. And I think it's a good time to say goodbye, Elizabeth. Don't you think so? We have said much, and people have to, even we have to think constantly about some of the things that we have spoken, because if we want to lead, we have to be in that mindset to speak and think right.
Mm. Mm.
So Elizabeth, what do you do as a coach?
Good question. So as a coach, I help particularly Christian women to thrive with confidence in who they are, who God has called them to be, so that they can make impact, leave a legacy, and fulfill their God-given purpose. So I coach in the areas of leadership, personal development, communication, yeah. And I do public speaking as well. So yeah, alongside that, I love to challenge people. Kirubai knows me. I love
Yeah.
to challenge people. And so that's what I do in my coaching. I encourage, I challenge, and I hold their hands to support them as they make changes in their lives.
And she's a social media guru. Just show up and shine. It's really, being blessed by being in show up and shine. So it's still very early. People can still join you for this month's challenge, right?
Absolutely. You know what? The group is open 24/7. So you don't even have to wait for a new month. If you want to join the challenge, you just reach out. I send you the details. You are in the community, and boom, you start showing up and shining.
Yeah, thank you. That's wonderful, because we nowadays, these modern days, we have to have a little bit of a social media influence.
Mm,
Yeah.
absolutely. There's a lot that we can do with it. It can
Positive
help.
things. Yeah.
Kirubai, do you want to say a bit about what you do as well?
Okay. So I'm a holistic transformational coach, aligning the body, the mind, and the spirit. Body, as I work with people with their personal branding and style. Mind is self leadership, how you lead yourself to be that successful, driven person. And the spirit is a holistic approach to trauma and how you deal with trauma, and how do you overcome your shortcomings in life. So, a package, all in one package, which is called Style Your Life with Grace K.
I love that. Style your life with Grace K and the touch of the Holy Spirit.
Amen. Without him, we can't do anything, Elizabeth.
Mm.
Mm.
I love that. So thank you so much for joining us today. If this conversation today has impacted you in any way, leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. I know there's a couple of people on YouTube, so like, share, subscribe, post the link out to somebody who you feel could benefit from this message. And yeah, let us know how it's impacting you. Let us know how it's impacting you, because your words and your testimonies encourage us to keep going, but also present for us some topics that we can tackle. So if there are conversations that you feel, um can you have this conversation, then let us know. We'll be more than happy to break down that topic or that conversation that you have in mind for us. So yeah, do reach out. Do reach out to us. But thank you so much for joining us today. And yeah, God bless you. Keep doing what you're doing, but more importantly, watch your thinking and watch your words. That's the key message for today.